We're all good. Perfect. Okay. And live on us in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello and welcome everybody. This is Amanda Rose from Archer Travel Service. I'm your Director of Marketing and Media. Sorry, my brain went somewhere else real fast. I'm so excited about this Australia webinar today. We have Omniche Holidays with Jasmine. How are you doing today, Jasmine?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
We're so happy to have you. And so today, if you guys have any questions, please save those at the end of the presentation. We'll have up to 15 minutes of Q&A. Jasmine will present for about 30 minutes, and that's pretty much it. If you guys want to watch this recording, you can find it right here in the videos tab of this page. And without further ado, Jasmine, we'll let you get started. Thanks again for joining.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So everybody, I am Jasmine, of course, the National Business Development Manager for Omniche Holidays. And I believe that basically we are delving into one of our bigger destinations, which is actually Norfolk Island. So we are the South Pacific specialists. We do cover 11 destinations in the South Pacific. So definitely be mindful of that. Have a look at what destinations we do and what might be suited for your clients. But let's get into Norfolk Island. Now, Norfolk Island is definitely, to me, it's a paradise that's much closer than you think. And what stands out for me in this particular picture as well, it kind of sums up the beauty and what Norfolk Island has to offer. So, you know, gorgeous, stunning blue turquoise waters, snorkeling. Emily Bay is super popular. If you had some kind of binoculars, you could see like a little pontoon there that's super popular during summer and winter actually. But the Norfolk Island pine trees all over the island, insanely immaculate groomed grassy areas on the island. You can actually see some of the old ruins there from the old jail, the old hospital, things like that that are still preserved and used to basically tell the story of the history of Norfolk Island. So this picture just says everything about why I love Norfolk and what it has to offer for clients. So let's first have a look at how you can get there. So it is 1 hour ahead of Sydney all year round, but for Brisbane, it's 2 hours ahead at the moment. So Qantas Flies Air is the only airline ex-Brisbane and ex-Sydney direct. Now 2 hours, 15 minutes is what is expected from Brisbane, 2.5 from Sydney. I just got back last week and the flight was 1 hour and 45 minutes. So I didn't even get to watch the whole movie, either a blessing or a curse, because I don't know what happened at the end of the movie. So it's a little frustrating. But let's go into Norfolk Island and how you would break down this destination for your clients. So beaches, they have impeccable beaches, like crazily clear water, beautiful powdery sand like us Aussies love to have, but with these amazing robust coral reefs that are just a super short swim from the sand. So something really popular about Norfolk Island is that you don't have to take a boat out to the reef to actually dive. You can just do it on your own at any time. And you can just do it straight from the beach. So it's really, really, I guess, a user-friendly kind of coral reef. What I also love about Norfolk Island is as you travel around the island, there are amazing, dramatic, absolutely moody kind of cliffs. The waterfalls tumble off the island into the ocean. It's super dramatic. The views just are endless. So definitely for me, I'm a big nature person. This is definitely my highlight of the island. Now, culture on the island is unlike any other in the Pacific. It basically has this proud weave DNA of the bounty mutineers and their Polynesian families. So you really can see this on the island. They have their own language on the island, but they speak mainly English, of course. But if you're sitting in a cafe, it's quite interesting to perk your ears up because there'll be a group of friends all just speaking in the Norfolkian language. And they actually teach it at school. So it's not a dying language, it's something that they very much are very proud of. So I really like how you can see a lot of that Bounty Mutiny kind of English settlement kind of history, but then they hold on to that Polynesian side. They've got Polynesian dancing on the island, things like that. Then the other side is adventures. So Norfolk Island waters are not over farmed, I guess, or overfished. And so this makes their waters really, really robust with marine life. Surfing is massive out there at every point nearly off the island. So that's super, super popular. And also things like going off to explore like the 100 acres. That 100 acres is absolutely stunning place. It has these ginormous trees with these roots of the trees just protruding out of the soil. You stand next to them, the roots are bigger than you. It's just, it belittles you inside so much, but it's almost like magical, mesmerizing all at the same time. But let's share about the island, because this island is very quirky. Now, the island is only 8 by 5 kilometres. So that seems like quite easy, quite small, but you do need a car because there is 100 kilometres of hilly roads. Very, very hilly. Now, we do get people who think that they can just go and walk around the island. Look, to some extent, part of the island you might be able to do that, but if you want to start looking down at the beach and going exploring down near the ruins, you need a car. Now, we understand that a lot of clientele do come with the inability to drive or having the confidence, I guess, to drive. So there are properties that can be put at that are very central, located to the centre of town, and then they can basically just do day tours from there. So there is ways around it, as long as they understand that they are just a little bit limited. Because there's one cab on the island, and I feel like he starts drinking at 5 p.m, so you can't really rely on him at night time. So yeah, very, very car reliant kind of island. Now, the other cute thing is cows actually have right of way on the roads. So they're all registered. That's what the tags are on their ears here. So they're actually registered just like a car. So they have to be registered to be able to roam around the island. And that has to be renewed, it has to be pre-approved, and they just go around and they just eat grass wherever they want. So what you notice is that they have cattle grates everywhere to stop cows from going into like the cemetery or people's properties, or the centre of town to limit them coming through there. So it's actually quite cool, because at the moment there's a lot of baby cows on the island, so they're super, super cute. Then on top of it, you will end up having a sore wrist because there's a thing called the Norfolk Island Wave as you pass the vehicles, and every single person will do it. Absolutely every person. If you are not a local, they'll know it straight away. If you are a local, they'll hit you up at the pub later on and ask you why you didn't wave. So it's so important to get involved and do that. I do it every time I'm there. I just feel a bit rude if I don't. But it's kind of makes you feel like you're a part of a community, and you know, it gives you those warm fuzzies, right? Then on top of it, some other quirky little things are like that no babies are born on the island due to limitations of the hospital. So people actually have to plan to have their babies off the island, which is kind of crazy. So when you think about it, they have to pre-plan that their baby is not hopefully too preemie, and they're going to get off the island, go to mainly Brisbane is the closest place for them, so Brisbane Hospital, have their baby, and then they can't come back on the island until the baby's been declared, I guess, out of any issues, and then the baby can come back onto the island. Sometimes they can take until the baby's about a couple months old. It is something they're working on, but definitely they're not in a rush to do it either, which is absolutely crazy. And then something to get yourself in the mood for Norfolk Island is waterways. So waterways, how they go, how are you? And it's just in their Norfolkian language. So it's a bit of fun to kind of throw that around and try out their language. So keep that in mind. But now we go into the history. So history is absolutely massive on the island. Everyone on this island is super, super crazy proud of their history, their family, descendants, and how they kind of show that is by teaching everybody about it when they get to the island. Now, one thing that really stood out for me is the cyclorama. The cyclorama is actually this gorgeous attraction. It's actually had awards as well, but it's 360-degree panoramic painting with like 3D effects. It's absolutely insane. When you're sitting there, the floor is actually sand and rocks and whatever it is, and it actually like merges into the painting so that you feel like you're actually standing on the beach and you can hear all the waves and you hear the people talking and whatnot. It is a completely amazing way to get people feeling like they're part of this realistic 3D effect, part of those times, part of the story. Then you've got Kingston World Heritage. So they have the British prisoners down there. They still have it, I guess preserved as best as they could. But it's where basically British prisoners were banished. And quite sad kind of history around that. So they weren't treated very well. But it has its whole quirky stories about some of the things they all went through. And you can go there, you can roam around it, and read all about the history there as such. So yeah, kind of cool. Then you've got the Captain Cook Monument. So it's one of the most scenic lookouts on the island. So definitely a great location, even if it's just for a viewpoint. But Captain James Cook, he actually landed there back in 1774, is why this monument exists. But this is more my kind of thing, is foodies. So food on the island is quite amazing. However, the island is very seasonal. So you just got to remember that these guys are a typical island. They don't get food, delivered every day. A lot of their food comes, or anything comes to the island mostly by shipment. And the shipment only comes in sometimes once every 3 months. At the moment, they're about to embark on an exciting era, and they're possibly going to have a shipment coming in every month. But because of this, they became very self-sufficient on this island. So people who the bakers made bread, people would grow apples, people would do avocados, somebody will make beer, and they would all just basically trade amongst themselves. So what this made is this really farm-to-table kind of experience for people. Super, super fresh product is what you get to experience. So I just highlighted some places there, like having an island picnic, because of all the different hobby farms and all the seasonal delicacies that are coming out, is a perfect way to have a perfect picnic at many, many of the beautiful locations on the island. Then you have Two Chimneys Winery, so the boutique vineyard, but they're proud of it. There's a cellar door there that's surrounded by gardens and beautiful groomed lawns. Definitely a one for those wine people who love having a nice red. Now, the Norfolk Island Brewery on the island is the craft brewery. Now, they are very proud of it because they have won awards. And if you're in Brisbane, anybody, you might know Felons Brewery, quite a massive brewery on one of our waterfronts here of the Brisbane River. And Norfolk Island Brewery actually beat them in the awards. So they definitely are sitting at a place where, it's worthwhile to try it. It's something that you can, know that they're super proud of it because they've actually produced something quite substantial. It's quite amazing. And then, of course, nature. So look, this is only very much skimming the surface of what nature is on the island. There's a beautiful botanic gardens, which is 5.5 hectares. It has lots of plants that are endemic to Norfolk Island. But what I love about it is you can be in Emily Bay where you feel so exposed and you've just got all these Norfolk Island pines. But then you're in the Botanic Gardens and it's like rainforest, dense, moisture in the air, you know, you can really feel the difference. So it's definitely a beautiful spot to go. It's free to go. Definitely a great spot. They've got toilets there, so they really make sure that it's a spot that people want to go and visit and can add into their driving plans for the day. And then, as I mentioned, Emily Bay. So Emily Bay, tropical beach. It's actually protected by a reef. So the reef actually stops from any sharks coming in. But what that creates is a robust marine life, great snorkeling, clear as hell water. It's amazing. So definitely worth going to visit. And then you've got 100 acres, as I mentioned. So yeah, these amazing, massive trees that just belittle you so crazily. There's a great trek there that takes maybe a 1 hour full round trip if you did it really slow. But there's also an impeccable views when you go through and have a walk and come out the other end before your returning point that looks over this point of the island. So definitely worth it. An adventure, so you do have Phillip Island. Phillip Island, you can see it very, very closely to the island. So it doesn't have anything on it in the way of accommodation or anything like that. I think someone built a really random shack there that is falling apart, that all the locals will go out there and they'll go fishing and hiking and then they'll sleep in there like camping style and then they'll come back. Definitely not something we sell to people, but it's cool. The Phillip Island is exactly what you see it. The red, yellow, the pink kind of blended kind of soil. It's actually said because of century of erosion and degradation on the island, this is actually why it looks the way that it does. So yeah, it's really, really unique. It just has a whole nother type of landscape that Norfolk Island actually doesn't offer. So definitely one for those that love a good hike or a beautiful photo. And then as I mentioned, the water around the island isn't overly fished. So because of that, it is quite full of amazing fish. And they do have their own local fish there called trumpeter, or some people know it as sweetlet. And it is actually beautiful. If you don't like fish, you're probably still going to love trumpeter. It's a very nice tasting fish. So they serve it in most restaurants because they can rely on it and they're really proud. And as I mentioned, of course, snorkeling. Snorkeling's everywhere, so definitely something to go all over the island and try out in different parts. And then these are suggested additional tours, and this is, again, is only just scraping the surface. You have things like the progressive dinner. You go to 3 different families' houses, and they put on the entree. Another family does the dinner, and another family does the dessert, and they share amazing stories about their history, and also give an opportunity for people to actually interact with them and ask their questions that they might have in mind. The other one that stands out there is the Island Fish Fry. Again, trumpeter fish held there, but they have the cultural island Polynesian dancing there. You also have things like night as a convict. You get to dress up as a convict. You get treated as a convict to a degree, of course, but it actually is quite a funny night. I laughed so hard. I enjoyed showing a lot of agents this dinner/tour. So definitely something for people who don't mind an interactive night. Now, Omniche Holidays, super mindful of that. We're very fortunate in holding a position as market leaders in Norfolk. Because of these fantastic relationships, this actually allows us to offer exclusive inclusions in our standard packages. And our actual managing director, he actually lives, I would say, 85% of his time on Norfolk Island. The other time he is here in Brisbane with us. Now, what that means is that because of this, we can access exclusive tours that at discounted rates. And this is where Omniche Holidays prides ourselves in being the package specialist, being the destination specialist. And so our packages will always include these tours that people can actually just choose to be a part of or not be a part of on their holiday. They do get locked in for certain dates and times so that the client knows, hey, that's the time I'm locked in if I want to do it. So it's just a great way to get people out and about and maybe trying some things that they might not have really thought of. But also it's just making sure they get a proper view of the history, the locations on the island, and really starting their holiday to take form in making sure they get to explore some amazing things that, as I mentioned, not maybe on their card straight up. And this is a Norfolk Island traffic jam. This happens often, and if you're late to work, they mostly just go, you know what, I understand you probably had a Norfolk Island traffic jam because of all the amazing cows that get to run around free. So because they get right of way, you just have to wait until they move. You could try beeping at them, but they are just so unaware or don't care that you're beeping that they look at you and just keep walking. So yeah, look, it's a great open photo opportunity when it does happen. So just embrace the moment is what I would say. Now I'm going to some properties. So we've got Governor's Lodge. Now I want you, if there's a property I want you to remember, I want you to remember this one. It is the most sold property on the island, and there's a reason for it. It sits at 3.5 star. It has 55 standalone 1-bedroom cabins on 12 acres. So the popular parts are they're standalone cabins, they have on-site dining, they have a ability for the cafe, they have breakfast, they have lunch, and they have dinner. Now their dinner though is amazing. The cuisine is so elevated in compared to a lot of places on the island that you know your clients are not going to miss out on having something special to indulge in while they're on the island. What I like about staying at Governor's Lodge is that the facilities are accessible. I want it to be easy. They have a pool, they have a spa, I can just go and have relaxation time, or I can jump in my car with all this ample parking space around the place, and I can go down to Emily Bay and go and enjoy that if I want to. I like that it's easy and it's a resorty feeling. Now they have luscious gardens everywhere. They're super proud of their gardens, which really creates a lot of privacy for people. The cabins have little deck areas that people can use and have their nice, morning coffee, and they can choose to be sociable or they don't have to be sociable. And I like that in a holiday. Now the cabins also offer a separate lounge and dining area to their room. So that's nice that it's not this open plan living area that you're spending your whole time in 7 days that you're there. There has a microwave for the simple meals if they're wanting to heat up something. There's a bar fridge, so not a massive fridge, but it is a bar fridge and it's more than ample for anything that you might need to cool drinks, put medication in there, make some ice, put some wine, that type of thing, or any meals that you might have pre-made. Then you've got the outdoor patio area, as I mentioned, but on the deluxe cabins, they have an additional patio area on the other side of the cabin, which are all faced to look over the valley. So it's a bit nicer added view, if you may. There is one accessible cabin there, which is accessible by rent and wheelchair friendly as well in the bathroom, fully wheelchair friendly. The great perks as well with staying at Governor's Lodge is it's very centrally located to Burnt Pine Township. It would literally take me 1 minute to drive into the dead centre of town. It's not even the first entry of town, it's the dead centre. So it's super, super close. It would be about maybe a 5 minute to the entry of the town, 10 minutes into the dead centre. So I like that people can easily enjoy that, the ability to just maneuver around their holiday quick and fast. Now, they've got most rates with cooked breakfast included, which is awesome. So it's a great way for people to start their day off not having to think about where they're going to go eat. But also that kitchenette gives them the ability to do some self-sufficient things, as well as a barbecue near the pool area. This gives you a quick idea of the location: 5-minute drive to the airport, 6-minute drive down to Emily Bay. Really, really simple. Now, Crest Apartments is your more budget idea. Now, as you can see, it's budget, but it's clean, comfortable. Anyone who has stayed here rebooks it 80% of the time. And it's because they love the location. They love that it's on a big piece of land. It's more on the outskirts of the island. Birds breeding, that type of thing, gives them lots of nature, really beautiful ocean views when they walk around the property. And the reason I say that it's a bit more budget and maybe more basic in the way, it's just the decor. And that bedspread is real. Hopefully they do plan to change it soon. But that bedspread, you know, it's very much acknowledged that that is of an older style. The cane furniture is of an older style, but are they clean and comfortable, and people are going to walk in and feel like, wow, this is an impressive view from my balcony over the valley. And when I walk around this property, I get ocean views. 100%, you will not get a complaint about that. The cool thing is they also have laundry facilities here as well. Governor's Lodge also has that too. And I do apologise, I didn't mention they also are fully self-contained. So it's just perfect with full-size fridge, ability to cook, you know, a lot more facilities in that kitchen area to be a little bit more self-sufficient if they wanted to be. And as you can see from the map, that's the location: 6-minute drive down to Emily Bay. You're talking a 5-minute drive back into the city centre, the centre of township. So again, really highlighting that this place is not a large island. So being on the outskirts is not a bad thing. Now, Christians of Bucks Point, if you get somebody who wants a 3-bedroom house, they want something that has a history. This was originally built in the 1914 by a descendant, direct descendant of Fletcher Christian on the Bounty Mutineer. This is perfect. Really, really self-contained apartment. Got a bit of a romantic feel to it. Lots of bathrooms there. So they've got 3 bathrooms in there and an additional toilet on top of it. So quite street, really, really sought after if people like that house style. And as you can see, the location more amongst that outer skirts of the island. So you're talking about, you know, an extra 2 minutes on top of from Crest Apartments. It's 2 minutes extra just to get into Burnt Pine Town Centre. Castaway, Norfolk Island. So this one is the place that has the brewery. Again, very similar location to Governor's Lodge. They don't have a pool though, they don't have those kind of facilities, but they definitely have beautiful valley views, short stroll to the shops. They have a communal barbecue kitchen and laundry facilities. But they do offer a standard garden room, which has very standard cooking facilities in it, but then they do have 1- and 2-bedroom apartments. So we're wanting something that's a little bit more central location, but giving them 1- and 2-bedroom apartments. This is my go-to. The bar and restaurant are all on site, and there's a massive deck area that they can enjoy that overlooks over to Mount Pitt. And the location, as you can see, very similar to Governor's Lodge. Now, Aloha Apartments is another one that's dead centre in town. It's very popular because it does have a lot more extra, disability facilities, if you may. So they've got a little bit more of those kind of rooms, not a lot, but fully self-contained apartments, pool. But remembering it's dead centre in the township, so you don't walk around this property and get amazing views of anything. You are just, you're here because you want it to be convenient. Now, I won't go into these other properties because I know we're strapped for time, and then this is where, I guess, reservations can really help you to showcase these other properties and see how your clients fit. The Whispering Pines, however, does have a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom option, 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom option, so beautiful valley views, that type of thing. So don't think that there isn't those kind of options there. There's other houses there. You've got Jacaranda Park holiday cottages, that only 5 of them are there. Very boutique, absolutely gorgeous location. But other than that, really, that is the presentation, guys, about Norfolk Island and its possibilities. To be honest, it's not a place that you're going to be too fast on the accommodation. You need to ask the person, do you want it to be centrally located, or do you want to be, have views or be out more where, you know that you're at Norfolk? And that's kind of the questions where you need to start heading people in. A lot of people think they want self-contained until they get there and they realise that the shopping, I guess, grocery area is actually quite limited depending on what has come on the shipment. So a lot of times you just find people wanting to actually go and eat out. So the cool thing for you guys, earn the commission, go with things like Governor's Lodge, cooked breakfast included, and then you could add a couple of lunches at different places that are a part of a tour, and then get them out and doing some really cool things for dinner, like that progressive dinner and fish fry. But that is Norfolk Island in part of its beauty, and there's not enough photos that I could add into this presentation to even give it justice. Every time I go, I find something new about this island that just blows my mind. So it's really, really a hidden gem. But that's about it. Is there any questions?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jasmine. I know in the chat they said thank you so much too. They were asking, are you the person they should reach out to if they're in different states and whatnot, or are they supposed to reach out to Justin as well? Because I had given them both information in the past.
So you can reach out to Justin, obviously that is more than fine, but otherwise, yes, reach out to myself. Justin just does only work part-time and I work full-time, but if there's something directly that I can help you in that space, then definitely let me know. Otherwise, if it's in regards to learning more about these properties for a particular client, wanting a quote, that type of thing, they call the reservations line and the guys will help you. But yeah, just depending on your question, but you're always welcome to email me.
Perfect. And then also they were asking that you guys had a private Facebook group. Are they all allowed to join that?
100%. I would definitely do that. That is one of the criteria that we use when we look at familials. So that's a bonus. But then on the other side, other than familials, because familials are amazing, the other bonus is that you get a lot of insider information, what's happening with the company, some of our wins, some things we're celebrating, but then also real-time, sales that might have just dropped, or anything that we can give you updates on our industry, and also maybe not so fun stuff, so if there's things like cyclones that are affecting certain dates or destinations, and you want to be able to keep on top of that, we would put those kind of updates on there as well.
Perfect. And they just want to confirm that your marketing tools are on the Google Drive link that you sent us last time.
That's correct, yeah. So we try to keep that as up to date as possible. To be honest, if there's something more particular that you're after, I get a lot of agents who might be going to an expo, or they want to promote, they might be doing an in-house, cruising opportunity where they want to just talk, market or cruise. Reach out to me. I'm happy to get product and marketing involved so we can do you up a flyer that is specific to what you're trying to push. Always happy to do that. We get wedding packages, we get honeymoon packages, conferencing, everything. And we also have our groups department. So if you guys have, the numbers for that reach for groups, we can definitely help with that as well.
Perfect. Next question is, You just mentioned the group department. That is about 7 rooms or more. Is that correct? And do we call this in or do we do it online?
You can call it in, but to be honest, the conversation will generally go through that, hey, can you email us the specifics of what's important to the client? Give us a name to put the file under, that type of thing. What are we going to call the group? So calling through 100%, it starts a robust conversation about what we need from you and information. But if you are used to dealing with groups and you know what kind of information is needed to even begin start putting a group, I guess, itinerary together, then just email that at, for the groups at omnicheholidays.com email. And we will then action it that way. So that's, if you're not bothered about talking to somebody straight up, then that's a great way for you to get that email out, because it unfortunately can't be done over the phone straight away. It's a little bit more intricate kind of itineraries. Sometimes they're not so as intricate, but then other people will send through emails. We get agents who want to take their own group over to, you know, Cook Islands or Tahiti or Norfolk, and they'll go, this is what, it's a ladies only trip, this is how many we were going to have, you know, can you put this together? Sometimes they want them escorted by us and we will supply an escort. Sometimes they'll escort them themselves. That there are other opportunities that we also offer.
Perfect. And then someone said, what are the best seasons to travel there?
To Norfolk?
I believe that's what she's referring to.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, I would probably say the safest bet would be always going more like your August through to, say, maybe March, and then March through to that July, sometimes part of August, it is cooler on the island. So it just depends, obviously, on that travel, what they chase. Some people just love going during the colder times. Sometimes people are coming from colder places so that they don't even think it's cold during those times. But if they want to, you know, sunshine, get a tan, enjoy blue skies, go snorkeling, do everything without, they don't want to be cold, they don't want to have any kind of, you know, minimise the rain, then definitely going that August through to March is when I would suggest for people to go.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Jasmine, and thank you for answering all our questions and for such an informative and amazing training. We really appreciate you. And that's all we have for today. Is there anything else that you would like to say before we close out this training?
No, just thank you. Norfolk Island is a place that we sell a lot of. It's an easy sell for agents. Yeah, so you guys are going to make some really great commission by doing that. Just, yeah, give it some thought. If you have want to learn more on how you can transition clients into it, great. I'm always happy to do that. But yeah, also keep us in mind for all the other destinations that we have, and you'll see them on our website.
Perfect. Well, thanks again, Jasmine. Thank you, all the Australian agents, for joining us today, and I hope everyone has a great night. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.